how significant is the White House's announcement of extending the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire until February the 18th?
Greetings to you and to the dear viewers. In fact, the decision of extending the ceasefire to 18th comes with the Israeli will and the US implementation, who approved the extension that should have been 60 days, then added 18 days with one more item to release the Lebanese hostages that Israel has taken prisoners during the 60-day timeline. This decision to extend the ceasefire was not a very good decision. These troops cannot achieve any basic or essential targets by staying in Lebanon. The security of these troops these troops will not be able to remain in their positions without the Lebanese population approving this. There are no any life essentials for these Lebanese villages, populations, but they are still persistent to go back to their the rubbles of their houses. I think these movements will continue till the Lebanese population is able to restore all the lands the Israeli troops has taken over during the war.
And Mr. Mashmoshi, what are the challenges that are facing the negotiations between Lebanon and Israel and the United States when it comes to the release of Lebanese detainees that were captured after October 7th in 2023?
There are two challenges. First, the Israeli withdrawal from all Lebanese lands. The second is delivering and releasing all Lebanese detainees, including the bodies of the martyrs who the Israeli forces has kept. I think the United States of America is committed to the pledge to hand over all the dead bodies and the detainees, which is stipulated in the decision.
And given Israel's partial withdrawal from central Lebanon, but obviously its continued military presence in the south, how does this align with UN Resolution 701? And what are the implications for this, from this for international law?
Of course, Israel remaining in Lebanon after the 60 days is a severe violation to the agreement between the Lebanese state and Israel with US sponsorship. And the violations are not just that, but during the 60 days, the Israeli troops committed way too many violations, destroying and burning houses in the border villages. This is not new for Israel. These violations and crimes committed without any justifications. It has been happening in the Gaza Strip all along, and now in southern Lebanon. And despite of the power differences, the Lebanese troops are committed to 1701 resolution as the best solution to stop all military operations and Israeli violations, especially that it is sponsored by the US, and we're all aware that the US power has the capability and the upper hand over the Israeli authority, especially also that France has good relationship with Lebanon.
And you mentioned violations there. There have been daily reports of ceasefire violations. What role could UNIFIL play in ensuring adherence to the agreement and preventing further escalation in southern Lebanon?
In fact, the UNIFIL don't have the military power or mandate to stop the violations completely. They are only monitoring troops working to stop simple violations, diplomacy, and through the diplomatic committee that is formed for this regard, which is the prevailing stability and the non-continuity of the military operations on the borders.
And what are the potential consequences of Israeli Knesset member Benny Gantz's call to expand ground and air operations in Lebanon? And how could this impact civilian populations?
I think this is a kind of political pressure on the Lebanese population, and I think these statements are out after the Israeli troops witnessed the civilians, unarmed civilians, willing to go back to the rubbles of their homes, as they evacuated tens of villages on the borders under there were no arms in these villages. The people, unarmed people, were facing Israeli tanks completely unarmed, as they are connected to this land. We saw a lot of dead bodies are still under the rubbles in these villages.
And finally, Mr. Mashmoshi, how does this stance urging Israeli withdrawal south of the Blue Line influence the broader situation, the international response, and could it lead to greater pressure on Israel to comply with the ceasefire agreement?
I think the French situation is completely compassionate with the civilian population and the Lebanese state, as France is well aware that Israeli is the one carrying out all of the violations, as the Lebanese state, including the Hezbollah troops or the resistance, is committing to the ceasefire agreement. The truth is the Israeli troops is not responding to the French pressures. They are only working with the US directives, especially President Trump directives. And I think in this regard, President Trump is actually pressuring Israel to withdraw from the Lebanese territories, and there are unannounced considerations that kept the Israeli troops for more 2 weeks.